if that talented kid ever leaves this world before I do. I honestly don't know how I'd take it.
When people talk about Michael Jordan, the usual descriptions surface fast: relentless, unforgiving, obsessed with winning. He built a reputation on intensity, not friendliness. Most stories paint him as the guy who took things personally, who turned grudges into fuel. But here's the part that doesn't get told enough. Every so often, Jordan revealed genuine respect for a handful of players he believed were truly elite. These weren't polite compliments for the cameras. They were rare admissions from one of the fiercest competitors the game has ever seen. And when Jordan acknowledged someone's greatness, it carried real weight. Long before he became a global icon, Jordan was just a young fan watching greatness unfold. That greatness had a name: Julius Erving. Known to the world as Dr. J, Erving brought style and imagination to the air above the rim. He didn't just jump, he floated. He didn't just score, he performed. Jordan studied that artistry closely. He didn't simply mimic moves, he absorbed the mindset, the elegance, the creativity, the understanding that basketball could be both competition and showmanship. Erving attacked the rim like it was center stage. Every drive felt dramatic. Every finish had flair. Jordan paid attention to the hang time, the body control, the way a simple layup could turn into a highlight that lived forever. And as Jordan's own career exploded, his appreciation for Erving deepened. It wasn't only about the moves anymore. It was about how Dr. J handled fame, how he carried himself with calm authority, and how he balanced superstardom without letting it consume him. For a player as intense as Michael Jordan, that kind of admiration didn't come easy, which is exactly why it meant so much.
People say, where's Dr. J? You know, that is what I can see myself, and that's what I would want myself to do once I step away from the game of the basketball, get out of the spotlight, and yet, try to get to a normal life and watch my kids grow.
When Michael Jordan reflects on stepping away, he isn't simply discussing retirement. He's talking about who you were once the noise fades. The basketball world wanted Julius Erving to stay in the spotlight forever. But Erving chose something deeper. He chose family over fame, privacy over praise, and peace over pressure. That choice stayed with Jordan. Anyone can run toward cheers. Very few can walk away from them with grace. When Jordan says he could see himself following that same road, you hear genuine admiration. In a sport obsessed with what's happening right now, he respected the man who showed him how to exit with dignity. It's a powerful full-circle moment. The young fan who learned to soar by watching Dr. J grew into a champion who valued the man's character just as much as his highlights. For Jordan, true greatness meant balance, brilliance under the lights, humility once they dimmed. But Jordan's respect didn't stop with artistry. He also admired players who dominated with intelligence. And when he speaks about Larry Bird, you understand his definition of basketball respect. Jordan had no patience for empty hype. He valued results. Bird produced them consistently, without needing jaw-dropping athleticism. He controlled games with positioning, timing, and a jumper that felt automatic. Bird would tell defenders exactly what he planned to do, and still execute it. He turned fundamentals into weapons and used patience like a trap. He won with awareness, precision, and nerve. That ruthless efficiency impressed Jordan. No extra movement, no unnecessary flash, just cold, calculated mastery.
I think Larry is the epitome of what I saw myself walking away from the game and getting out of the spotlight. You don't see much of Larry now. I think that's something that he chose.
Back in Indiana and cool with us.
Which isn't bad. I like that. I really admire him for doing that.
The respect Michael Jordan had for Larry Bird operated on two levels. On the floor, Bird was a calculated killer, efficient, composed, and always in control. He made the game look simple, almost predictable, because every move had purpose. No extra dribbles, no empty talk, just results. And when the final buzzer stopped echoing, Bird didn't chase celebrity. He stepped back into a quieter life, away from constant noise, on his own terms. That pattern matters to Jordan. He consistently admires players who could command the spotlight without being consumed by it. To him, Bird wasn't just skilled, he was balanced. Precision during the game, perspective after it. That blend of excellence and maturity is what separates legends from celebrities. That's why Jordan's praise never sounds sentimental. It sounds like a benchmark. But Jordan's admiration wasn't limited to mental sharpness alone. He also respected complete control, the kind that lets a player dictate every possession like a conductor leading an orchestra. And that brings the conversation to Hakeem Olajuwon. Jordan was never impressed by height alone. He valued skill, footwork, and total impact. Olajuwon wasn't just a dominant center. He was a two-way force. He could score in the post, defend on the perimeter, block shots at the rim, and ignite the break with a quick outlet pass. Then came the dream shake, smooth, deceptive, unstoppable. It wasn't just a move. It was a signature. And for Jordan, that level of versatility demanded respect.
His dresses doesn't bother me. His hair doesn't bother me. Sure, I mean, he's going to go wacko every now and then. We've come to live with that. We've come to accept that. But you can't find another player on the basketball court that works just as hard as Dennis Rodman. Gives 110%, dives at loose balls, even if he can't get them. That's Dennis Rodman.
For Michael Jordan, admiration was all about completeness. That's why Hakeem Olajuwon stood out, a true two-way force. His footwork moved like ballet. His hands had the finesse of a guard, and his basketball IQ felt like a coach was running the show. Every possession, every angle, every matchup, Olajuwon could dominate it all. Jordan didn't just respect that. He studied it. But his appreciation extended beyond skill to rare teammates who brought disciplined chaos. Take Dennis Rodman. Off the court, Rodman was unpredictable, even wild. On it, he was utterly devoted to winning. Every rebound, every hustle play, every extra possession mattered. Rodman treated the dirty work like a sacred craft, not a chore. That relentless effort, that all-in mentality, commanded Jordan's respect because in his world, mastery wasn't only about scoring. It was about owning every inch of the game.
Who would I want to play one-on-one with? That list is very long. I don't think I lose. Other than Kobe Bryant because he steals all my moves.
For Michael Jordan, respect isn't about tolerance. It's about devotion to the game. He didn't care about headlines, fame, or spectacle. What mattered was that on any random Tuesday, Dennis Rodman would throw himself for every 50 to 50 ball as if the season depended on it. That's championship behavior. Rodman was a specialist, yes, but in Chicago, his specialty was winning. Jordan's admiration went to those who treated the thankless, gritty moments like they were priceless. But respect also went to those who mirrored his obsession. Enter Kobe Bryant, a student of Jordan's every move. This wasn't imitation, it was mastery. Footwork, cadence, shoulder fakes, mid-post angles. Kobe studied them until his game reflected MJ's brilliance. Jordan rarely admitted anyone could beat him one-on-one, but with Kobe, it wasn't just admiration, it was recognition. That kind of dedication, that kind of mirrored excellence, spoke the purest language of respect in Jordan's eyes. For Michael Jordan, admiration often came with a wink. Take Kobe Bryant. Jordan saw the effort behind the mimicry. Kobe didn't just want to win. He wanted to win like Jordan. That's the highest compliment an artist can earn. Someone studying your craft so closely, they try to recreate the masterpiece. It wasn't about friendship. It was about shared fire, mutual obsession. But Jordan's respect wasn't limited to mirrors of himself. He also had room for pure artistry, players who moved like poetry. George Gervin was one of those rare talents. The finger roll wasn't just a move, it was a statement. Smooth, precise, and effortless. Every takeoff felt deliberate, every finish inevitable. Jordan watched as Gervin sliced through defenses without a word, changing speed with a single dribble, opening tiny lanes with body control, and turning chaos into rhythm. By the end of the night, you check the box score and realize he'd quietly poured in 30 points. For a young Jordan, that was graduate school in finesse, timing, and basketball poetry.
Charles is a defensive stopper, so the first thing he does, he breaks down in this defensive position with hands up. Everything looks technically right. And I just laugh. I say, when the hell are you going to start playing defense? And who taught you how to get in a defensive stance? And I had to pass it. But that's the type of guy, he would take on a challenge, even though he was not up to the challenge. He didn't care. And that's just him.
Imagine Michael Jordan watching George Gervin and thinking, what if this level of finesse meant my own peak power? Prime Iceman alongside peak Jordan. Footwork doubled, touch doubled, tempo doubled. Jordan admired raw power when a moment demanded it. But with Gervin, he appreciated the subtle genius. The feel for when to explode and when to float, when to glide, and when to cut. Gervin made the hard look easy, effortless in a way only true masters can, and Jordan understood the difference between easy and effortless. That elegance, it sticks with you. It becomes part of your internal rhythm. From quiet mastery to full court command, Jordan also saluted players who orchestrated the game like art. Magic Johnson was that kind of magician. The smile, the flair, the no-look passes, everything was about control. Magic didn't just rack up assists. He turned 5 strangers into synchronized motion. One possession, he's blazing in transition. The next, he's posting a mismatch, then pointing to a spot you didn't even see and delivering the ball there perfectly. It wasn't stats, it was order. Play with Magic, and you felt taller. Play against him, and you felt a step behind. Jordan recognized mastery when he saw it, in every move, every rhythm, every moment.